We also need to cover what happened in a congressional hearing yesterday with the new acting director of the Secret Service, as well as one of the heads of the FBI, because there was some fiery testimony that was given. This guy, I think his last name is Rao, the acting director. He had a lot to answer for. In his opening statement, he talked about how this was a massive, massive failure. So he stated the obvious, but what congressional members were really looking for is who is going to finally be held accountable. And that did not go well. But we'll kick it off with Jesse Waters talking about this email that was uncovered and then promptly hidden that also got a lot of attention yesterday.
Secret Service counter sniper is predicting another assassination attempt before November. In an email obtained by Real Clear Politics, a Secret Service agent with 20 years experience on the counter sniper team is announcing he's going to blow the whistle until all of his supervisors are fired. The counter sniper says his mission is to prevent another JFK-style assassination. And the only reason that hasn't happened is because they've gotten lucky. He says Secret Service leadership is corrupt and states clearly, quote, "We all should expect another assassination attempt to happen before November.
Oh, my God.
We've exposed our inability to protect our leaders due to our leadership." After this email went public, it was wiped off the Secret Service servers. There's a massive cover-up underway, and it spilled over into Congress. After Cheadle resigned in disgrace, her number 2 got promoted and testified today that the Secret Service screwed up, but the local police, it was really all their fault.
Oh, my God.
30 seconds. If it's communicated directly to a counter sniper team, would that be enough time to react prior to the firing of those shots?
Senator, if we'd had that information, they would have been able to address it more quickly. It appears that that information was stuck or siloed in that state and local channel.
Pointing fingers at the police. I just can't.
Like, and I had hope for him. Like, when it first started, I thought, okay, well, it does sound, again, like he said in his opener, like he really gets how bad of a failure this is. And so heads are going to roll, right? I mean, listen to him talking about, because he went out there to like look at the scene afterwards. And he even went onto the roof where the shooter was to see what his vantage point was. And this is what he said about that.
Actions as acting director was traveling to the Butler Farm Show site to better understand how our protection failed. I went to the roof of the AGR building where the assailant fired shots, and I laid in a prone position to evaluate his line of sight. What I saw made me ashamed.
It should. It should make you ashamed, Dilbert. You should be really, really ashamed. Just saying. Like, they should all of them should resign.
That's who he reminds me of.
Yes, Dilbert. You were thinking it. I know you were. You just couldn't verbalize it. I know. I can tell.
Oh my God, that's so perfect.
What is that hair? What is it? What is his hair?
It's a very,
oh my God, all of these people are so inept. They can't do their jobs. I can't.
Well, I mean, to be fair, I'm going to try to be fair.
Oh, really?
Okay. He has been on this particular job. Now, granted, he was the number 2, so he's got a lot to answer for.
Yeah.
But he's been acting Secret Service director for about 7 seconds. And so
he's still trying. He's like, where's the bathroom? I'm trying to find the bathroom. And where's my desk? I don't know where anything is. Right. Y'all give me too many questions. I can't handle it.
So Josh Hawley lit into him. And this clip runs a little bit long because there's no good place to break it. And they get heated. Just watch
this. Who was the lead site agent who made the decision to leave the AGR building completely outside of the security perimeter? Who was that?
Senator, I cannot give you that name. This person is operational. They're still doing investigations. They're still doing protective visits.
Have they been relieved of duty?
Senator, they have not been relieved of duty.
I know their name, by the way. Why have they not been relieved of duty?
They are still cooperating, not only being interviewed by the FBI, but also by our Office of Professional Responsibility. Why? And we will let the facts of the mission assurance and any further investigations play out.
Isn't the fact that a former president was shot, that a good American is dead, that other Americans were critically wounded, isn't that enough mission failure for you to say that the person who decided that building should not be in the security perimeter probably ought to be stepped down.
Senator, I think you're using the word decided, and I think we need to allow the investigation play out to include.
So who did make the decision then? If it wasn't the lead site agent, who made the decision not to put that in the security perimeter?
Senator, you're zeroing in on one particular agent. I want to find out exactly what was the entire decision process. So I think I want to be neutral and make sure that we get to the bottom of it and interview everybody in order to determine if there was more than one person who perhaps exercised bad judgment.
Well, sure. My question is, why don't you relieve everybody of duty who made bad judgment? So yeah, you're right. I am zeroing in on somebody. I'm trying to find somebody who's accountable here. And you're telling me that the person who made the decision not to include this in the perimeter has not been relieved of duty. What about the person who's in charge of the interoperability of radio frequencies between local law enforcement and Secret Service? Has that person been relieved of duty?
No, Senator, because interoperability is a challenge, is a greater challenge than just one person. On that day, we had a counterpart system. It failed
As the person who made the decision to send Donald Trump onto stage knowing that you had a security situation, has that person been relieved of duty?
No, sir, they haven't.
Has the person who decided not to pull the former president off of stage when you knew that, in your words, the locals were working a serious security situation, has that person been relieved of duty?
No, sir. Again, I refer you back to my original answer that we are investigating this through a mission assurance. And as opposed to zeroing in on one,
what more do you need to investigate to know
exactly what the
what more do you need to investigate to know that there were critical enough failures that some individuals ought to be held accountable? I mean, what more do you need to know?
What I need to know is exactly what happened, and I need my investigators to do their job. And I cannot.
A lot of people didn't do their jobs.
I cannot put my thumb on the scale. Otherwise,
what do you mean put your thumb on the scale?
You're asking me, Senator, to completely make a rush to judgment about somebody failing. I acknowledge this was a failure of the Secret Service.
Is it not prima facie that somebody has failed? A former president was shot.
Sir, this could have been our Texas school book depository. I have lost sleep over that for the last 17 days, just like you have.
Somebody to
I will tell you, Senator, that I will not rush to judgment, that people will be held accountable, and I will do so with integrity and not rush to judgment and put people unfairly persecuted.
Unfairly persecuted?
Unfairly,
we've got people who are
we
dead.
have to be able to have a proper investigation into this, Senator.
You said earlier that you got to make sure that your protocols are followed, and unless there's a protocol violation, people wouldn't be disciplined. I would just say to you, I don't really care that much about your protocols. I think if your protocols don't provide for the fact that when a former president is shot, when an American is killed, when other rally goers, innocent people who just showed up on the day, when they are shot at and critically wounded, if that isn't a protocol violation prima facie, you should revise your protocols.
Senator, I think this is where you and I agree. This was a failure, and we will get to the bottom of it.
Well, I hope you're going to do something about it.
When? How long does it take? Listen, I mean, they fire people over not taking a vaccine. I feel like this is a fireable thing. I'm with Josh on this one. The fact that Cheadle's the only one that is gone, and she did it
because she got fired.
Exactly. She did it herself because she was shamed in a hearing because she's completely useless as a human being. And she didn't want to do it, but then everybody just forced her into doing it because she's such an embarrassment to human beings. And she's like, well, maybe I'll just step down. Maybe I'll do that. I mean, she was basically forced out. She's the only one. All of them need to be fired. All of them. I mean, my God, I just can't believe people can't see this. What the hell? It's like, what do you have to do to get fired in the federal government? What do you have to do?
That's a great question. Great question.
This is nuts.
Well, remember too how Christopher Wray testified and then caused all the hullabaloo. Trump was so mad, and rightly so, because he was basically suggesting that maybe it wasn't a bullet that hit Trump, that it could have been shrapnel or it could have been glass or whatever. Mm-hmm. And then everybody lost their minds, and there were articles written everywhere. See, it was a total stage.
It may not have been. Maybe it wasn't an assassination attempt. Maybe it was just flying glass. Oh, okay.
So Senator Kennedy, God love him, he directed his questions to the FBI head that was there, not Christopher Wray, but somebody else that's high up, to get clarification on that. And it was so perfect and so typical Senator Kennedy in terms of the way that he got at the answer. You guys are going to love this.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Abate, am I saying your name right?
Yes, Senator. Thank you.
You are the Deputy Director of the FBI. Is that correct?
Yes, Senator.
Is there any doubt in your mind or in the collective mind of the FBI that President Trump was shot in the ear by a bullet fired by the assassin crooks?
Senator, there is absolutely no doubt in the FBI's mind whether former President Trump was hit with a bullet and wounded in the ear. No doubt, there never has been.
Okay.
I've been part of this investigation since the very beginning, and that has never been raised.
You're sure?
Yes.
It wasn't a space laser.
No.
It wasn't a murder hornet.
Absolutely not.
It wasn't Sasquatch.
No, Senator.
It was a bullet.
It was a bullet, Senator.
Fired by crooks.
Yes, sir.
That hit President Trump in the ear and almost killed him.
100%, Senator.
Okay. Glad we cleared that up.
Oh my God. I would have loved it if he was like, Ray is a ding dong. He's a ding dong. Take that, Neil Cavuto. Take it.